Hello, everybody. My name is Barry Johns, and this is Studio Talk. Today, we're going to talk about a couple of topics. The first one up is going to be Universal Audio, the fact that they're delivering on their promises. Before I get into that, I've done some videos in the past, quite a few of them actually, on Universal Audio, and well over half of them have actually been critical of Universal Audio. Now, this goes back some time, so they're doing, in my opinion, the right thing now. But in the past, I thought that they were kind of milking that DSP-based, solely DSP-based system for far too long, considering the great limitations of their Shark processors in their Apollos and satellite units. Some people can get by with just a few. That's maybe because they're not running that many plugins. But at the end of the day, if you're like me and if you're investing in that system, you want to be able to run it. You want to be able to do your mixes with it. I mean, after all, they've kind of always been known, or certainly have the reputation of having some of the finest plugins that money can buy. And for the longest time, that was absolutely true. And they have done a great job on developing their plugins. That said, it was getting a little bit long in the tooth. So later last year, I started making some predictions. And then when I made those predictions, everybody said I was out of my mind. Everybody said, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. And it's not that I have some great crystal ball. It's just the reality of it is, I understand, at least I think I do, the way businesses need to run, and they've got to continue to evolve. And so, so my first prediction was the fact that they were going to go native, that they would be developing their native plugins, and that they would make them in a way that's compelling initially. And then within probably about a month to 6 weeks after that, they came out with the Spark program, the subscription program, where you got quite a few, not by a long shot, quite a few of their plugins available to be able to use in native. And I've got videos out there demonstrating how many of those you can get in a particular session. And let's just say you'd need about $2 billion worth of satellites and Apollos to be able to run what you can on a powerful native system. Okay, now of course I just exaggerated there. I know you know that, right? But anyway, and so and then next up, I predicted that you would be able to buy those plugins outright. And then that, of course, just happened earlier this year, maybe about a month or so ago. They started releasing the plugins that were part of Spark. They started releasing where you can buy it. So for those of you who are okay with subscription, and that doesn't seem to be a lot of people, according to comments I get, I'm a fan of the right subscription, but not all of them. But you could get them via subscription. Maybe you didn't have the money to shell out and buy them. And then they came out with the bundles where you can buy them. And to be honest with you, those bundles are pretty compelling. A lot of those bundles they've done a good job in selecting the right plugins, in my opinion, on most of those bundles to be able to do quality work. And if you do the math, they average about $30 or so each, which is a steal considering most of them are 3, 4, 5 times that much if you buy them typically in the DSP world. And of course, if you already own the DSP version, then you get the native version for free. That's been the case since Spark came out. So when I say they're delivering on promises, before I get to that, I also I'm fully expecting a brand new Apollo-style interface to be released soon. They've been doing a lot of blowouts trying to get rid of their existing inventory, and I think we're going to see a new Apollo interface coming out very soon, of which I'm guessing, my guess is, that you're going to be able to do a combination of run some DSP and then the rest in native, kind of like you can with the Avid Carbon. But I think you're going to see better conversion improved upon it. Not that their conversion was bad. It wasn't bad by a long shot, but typically when you compared it, in my opinion, and that's very subjective, I guess, when you compared it with a lot of interfaces in that same price range, it didn't necessarily hold up completely, both A to D and D to A. But it was a solid interface, no doubt about it, But regardless of that, I think we're going to see a brand new interface. Now, when I say they're delivering on their promises, that's exactly what they're doing. They put out a schedule that they would continue to be porting over their DSP plugins over to native, and I can't remember the time frame. I think it was like every 60 days or something like that. They would start porting one at a time over, and they've been delivering on that. And I think that's fantastic. I think the move that Universal Audio is making right now is absolutely great. I think you get the best of both worlds. I think you get the ability, if you don't have a lot of money and you want to start using their plugins right away, you can subscribe to them. And of course, if you have the money to shell out, you can buy them outright. And their plugins are actually starting to show up, the ones that you can buy on some of your traditional discount online plugin dealers that can give you a better deal versus the MAP price at all of the, the major retailers like Sweetwater, Vintage King, Sound Pure, a lot of those out there that they're kind of locked into. I don't know if Sound Pure is a dealer of theirs, but regardless, anyway, they're locked into those. So anyway, you can actually get them even cheaper if you look for that. So I think it's great. I think where they're going is great for us. I think it's great for recording enthusiasts. I think it's great for home studios. It's quite honestly, via the bundles, making their plugins more affordable for the average person. And I think they kind of had to do that because at the end of the day, the competition was getting fierce. I said before, they kind of dominated the high-end plug-in market for a very long time, but companies out there like Softtube and Plug-in Alliance, as well as others, Acoustica Audio and some others, have caught up on the vast majority of them without a doubt, and have been doing it at a more affordable rate. So this is the right time to be able to do this. And so I highly encourage you to check out Universal Audio's bundles or their plugins because they are still exceptional plugins. Now, up next, I don't know if many of you got to see this or not, but first of all, if you don't know this, I'm going to talk about RME. If you don't know this, I'm currently an RME user after using Pro Tools TDM architecture, then HDX. I owned a Carbon, but then I kind of got fed up with the pricing schemes and the greed of Avid, and I kissed that goodbye a year or so ago, about a year ago, I guess. And I ultimately bought it. You know what I mean? I bought the RME UFX Plus, Fireface UFX Plus, and I absolutely love it. I love it. I've got it paired up with the Ferrofish Pulse 16 to give me a total. I believe the math adds up to 28 analog I/O, as well as 4 sets of ADAT I/O, and of course, I'm connecting my Pulse 16 via MADI to my Fireface. Okay, shortly after that, they discontinued that model because there were some issues with Intel and things like that, to where they were going to kind of have to be forced to change out their chipset to go with a different chipset. So anyway, B&H Audio made a mistake and actually released the specs and everything, saying coming soon, the new UFX Fireface 3. All right. And so that was up there for a while. If you search for it now, you'll find a Google search of it, but it'll just take you to that page is not there anymore, which means any day now we're going to see a new RME interface come out, and that's going to be the I can't even say it. You know what I'm talking about. The new oh gosh, it's driving me nuts. UFX, that's what I'm trying to say. UFX 3.0, which will have USB 3 only, no Thunderbolt. Okay, now a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that you need Thunderbolt, and you don't. USB 3 is more than adequate for it. You can actually get by with USB-B up to 64 channels of audio streaming back and forth, okay? So there's a lot of misconceptions about that out there, but regardless of that, yes, of course, those other protocols are faster, but you're simply not going to use that bandwidth. At least overwhelmingly, the vast majority of you are not, including myself. But anyway, that's going to be right around the corner. The UFX Pluses actually started going for ridiculous amounts online. I think the last one I saw on Reverb was selling for $4,500. So, hey, here's some advice out there. For those of you who bought some extra ones and thought you were going to cash in on it, well, you better unload them quick because that UFX 3 is right around the corner. So anyway, I've got some reviews coming up. 7 Circle Audio sent me their chassis with an API-style mic preamp as well as their compressor. So those are going to be coming up. Not that long ago, I did a review of this. Let's see if we can get that in focus. There we go. It's a 7 Circle Audio Neve-style preamp, which is absolutely great. I mean, for the price, it does a fantastic job, really nice and rich and creamy. But if you're interested, go check out that video. I've also got Slate Digital's the mixing headphones. I forget what they call them. I've got those. I've got to open those out of the box and start really putting those to use. And I think I also have a Tegeler cream that I'm going to be reviewing that they sent me to review. So all those things are upcoming. So anyway, if you like the things I talk about on this channel, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe. But most importantly, hit that that subscribe button. That's the most important one. That's the one I want you to hit. Hit that one, okay? But anyway, do me a favor, leave some comments down below. Tell me what you think about what I've talked about today, or tell me what you think about the weather. I don't really care, but just tell me something. You can tell me to go fly a kite. Hey, it's nice weather outside. Maybe I'll try that. But anyway, until next time, I hope all of you have a great day. All right, bye-bye. I'm Barry Johns, and this is Studio Talk. Well, today we're going to talk about a couple of things. First up, we're going to talk about the fact that Universal Audio is actually living up to its promises. Blah, 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 blah. And that some of them have been blah, 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 blah.